Right, another demonstration for you on using the belt sander or the band phaser. Okay, so you've got all the information there. Now, once again, aprons must be worn, safety goggles must be worn whilst on the machine to stop any debris going into your eyes or your loose clothing going into the machine. So what you have, once again, is a belt of sandpaper which rotates around this part of the machine all the way around on a continuous loop. What you see here is a arrow showing that the belt sander goes down, so it's going in this motion here. If it went up, that would make it much more dangerous. These parts on the side here, though you will never use them, they are used to tighten and loosen the belt. So if you want to change the belt around, you'd loosen it from this side and this side here, and then you could just slide the belt off. You've got this platen here, which should have around a 2mm gap here to stop any fingers going down here and getting trapped. So you need to keep that as close into the bandsaw that you can without actually hitting the bandsaw itself. This part here, where you can place your work, can be changed from a 90-degree angle all the way down to 40. So you've got that square angle there to make sure that whatever you sand is nice and straight. However, if you do want to add a little chamfer or if you want to add a miter joint, that's when you put a 45-degree angle with another 45-degree angle. You can use this as well, only for small things. Now the belt sander is used for sanding plastic and wood. Now plastic is advised not to be used on this because it does collect at the bottom and it gets really hot. Mixed with sawdust at the bottom of the extractor here, it could start a fire. Now the extractor is built in itself, so what we have is a hose at the back here. So any sawdust that you've got of very fine particles, once it's sanded, it goes into the machine, down through the hose, and then it is collected at the bottom here. What you have is a filter to stop any really fine particles of dust going outside, and then obviously you breathing it in and causing respiratory issues in the future. So you give the filter a little bit of a shake on the shaker, that can be pressed back in, and at the bottom here you have a drawer. So you pull this out and there's all the sawdust that's being collected there. Now that's looking fairly empty, so I'm not going to change that now, but if I was going to do it, I'd be wearing a dust mask and emptying it properly. Before we turn this on, I want to go through some of the safety features with you on top of the extractor that we have. So here we've got the guard. Now, if you are cutting a piece of, sanding a piece of material that's that big, then the guard needs to be this high. However, we're going to be sanding a material that's this size. So to make sure that our fingers don't slip in, we are going to drop the guard down slow as we can and tighten it up like so. Now that is a safety feature, so if my hand slips, it's hitting the guard and not actually hitting there. What's also important is that you keep the piece that you are cutting flat on this surface, on this table, to make sure that it doesn't kick back, it doesn't flip up, and it doesn't get caught on your fingers and so on. So a couple of safety features here, so I'm just going to move this away. Turn it on, press the green button, and you can see now that the belt sander is moving. At the bottom here, we've got an emergency stop, and you can hear that extractor being turned off. Open it up again, twist, and we also have a stop button here as well. So just with your knee, little tap on that, and that will stop the machine. So if you do get trapped, you've got two choices: either pressing the emergency stop button there, or this lever down here with your knee or your foot or whatever you need to turn the machine off. So I'm just going to open this guard up just to show you what the belt sander looks like when it's spinning fully. There we go. So turning it back on, and you can see that it just spins down. Okay, so it's all the way going down. That belt is going around here, all the way around, and then you can start sanding by placing that in there. Now, to be on the safe side, we are going to drop the guard a little bit. So dropping this down. There we go. That should be enough for us to be able to see. So I tighten these wing nuts here. There we go. Now, usually you'd have two hands on the material, but because I am holding this camera, I'm going to be very, very careful, and I'm going to use one hand, making sure that I'm pressing down and pushing that in, because I want you to be able to see what happens to the material. So I'm going to turn it on. And you can see just here, going in. And that material is just starting to sand. So if I want to curve the sides, I just twist. Pushing it right in, like so, pulling it out, pressing the emergency stop button, and you can see that piece now has been rounded nice and smooth all the way around. Now, like I said, you can use this on timber, you can use it on plastic as well. However, plastic is highly inadvisable.